get started with our program. I hope you have enjoyed your lunch. If you have not finished, you can finish your lunch, but please try to keep it very quiet so as not to interfere with the speakers. Very delighted to welcome all of you to the 21st Annual Conference of CSID. We have excellent speakers. We are honored by their presence. I think we have a very, very rich and enlightening discussion about the future of democracy in the Arab world, in the Muslim world, and the implications for U.S. foreign policy. I'd like to start by reminding all of you, how many of you attended the 2018 conference, CSID conference, in this room? About 10, 15. The keynote speaker was Jamal Khashoggi, rahimahullah. So I'd like to ask you for 1 minute of silence for Jamal Khashoggi, our friend, our dear friend, who spoke at this podium 5 years ago, 2018. If you are Muslim, please read the Al-Fatiha for him. Just 1 minute of silence. Thank you very much. So 5 years later, we are still fighting for democracy in the Arab world, in the Muslim world. The fight continues. We have had several setbacks in these 5 years, but we continue to believe that democracy is the only solution. We continue to believe that there is no hope for the region. These are almost exactly the same words that Jamal Khashoggi used 5 years ago. That there is no hope for the region without democracy. That dictatorship and autocracies do not create stability. That to the contrary, they create havoc, they create mayhem, they create instability. But it's boiling under. We don't know when the next explosion is going to happen, or where it's going to happen. Might be Tunisia, might be in Sudan, might be, as we see, in Iran, in Nigeria, but it's boiling everywhere. People in the Arab world are sick and tired of oppressors and dictatorships, and especially the young people are not willing to take this anymore because they see in the news, they see in CNN and Al Jazeera and on Facebook and Twitter, they see how the free world is living, and they can't live in jail anymore. But at the same time, they are scared. They are scared because now the armies are becoming more involved, including in Tunisia. As you know, the army was never involved in politics before the Arab Spring in Tunisia, and it is the main problem right now in Tunisia. That's why we have the coup in Tunisia. The coup would not have happened without the support of the army in Tunisia. There's no way that Israel would have been able to do what we did in the last 2 years, which is basically destroy all the institutions of democracy, if we didn't have the support of the army. But as an American citizen, as a Tunisian American citizen, it makes me very sad that the US is still supporting regimes in the Arab world after coups, whether it's in Tunisia or Egypt or whatever. A, because it's illegal, as we mentioned in the previous session. There is a law in the United States that makes it illegal to provide any kind of support to any country after a military coup. And our government here in Washington cannot get away or around this law simply by not calling it a coup. I mean, this is a joke. It's like somebody who goes and murders somebody and says, no, it's not a murder, it's something else. A murder is a murder. A coup is a coup. And you can't just call it something else or not recognize it as a coup. And therefore, you can do whatever you want. So I'm really, really hoping that in the next few months or years, we can start a process of suing our own government here in Washington for not respecting our own laws here in Washington, of not supporting, that it is illegal to give any kind of support, whether it's economic or military, to any country after a coup. It's already the law of the land. And the US government is obligated to respect this law, and therefore we should be able to sue the government if they do provide any kind of support to a government after a coup. But if you call it not a coup, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the reality. The reality in Tunisia is that it's a coup. The reality is that they are destroying our democratic institutions that we built over not only 10 years after the Arab Spring, even before that. They're destroying the parties, they're destroying the civil society, they're destroying the media. Everything is being destroyed. And it will take a long time to rebuild these things. It's not easy. And so we really hope that the US government, and we can push, we are American citizens, we can push our US government to respect the law. It should not, this matter should not be a matter under negotiation. It's the law. And, we have to, really exercise our rights and our duty to respect the law. In Tunisia, maybe in the first couple of months, it wasn't clear that it's a coup. I called it a coup from day one, but maybe it was not clear because in the beginning he said, no, I promise to respect democracy, I promise to respect the constitution. The closure of the parliament was going to be for only 1 month or 2 months maximum. The debate was between 1 month and 2 months. But now it's clear that it was a coup, that he has not respected anything. The laws, the constitution, the institutions, the independence of the judiciary. There are now judges who are in jail, there are lawyers who are in jail for defending their clients. And judges are in jail for not, following orders. And here in Washington, we're still debating whether it's a coup or not a coup. And we're still giving money to the Tunisian military that is behind this coup. We're giving them, by the way, US supported Tunisia in the last 10 years after the Arab Spring. 70% of that support went to the military. This is not known, but you can go back to the statistics and the numbers. 70%, over 70% went to the military of the support. It was supposed to be for democracy. But instead, 70% went to the military and the security forces, fighting extremism and fighting terrorism. It wasn't to support democracy. Less than 20 or 30% were to support democracy or to support the economy. Less than 30%. And the total amount is really negligible. It was about 200 million per year. But 70% of that went to the military. The military has grown, the budget has grown 3 times in the last 10 years. We used to have a very small military in Tunisia. We don't anymore. It has been modernized, it has become very strong, and of course, more ambitious. If they become strong, then why not govern? We have 4 ministers now in the government who are generals in the army. They did not even resign from the army. They're still generals in the army and they are ministers in the government. Health, agriculture, and a couple of other ministers. 4 ministers are military generals. Anyway, so we really need to work together to support democracy. As American citizens here in Washington, we have to speak up, we have to raise our voices, and to really push for democracy. Not only because we believe in democracy, but because it's the only solution to all these problems. Otherwise, the situation is going to get worse. And you can see how it's getting worse already in Sudan, for example. Civil war now in Sudan. Why? Because the military has gotten involved. And then 2 generals disagreed on the best solution. They started the war. And the victims are the civilians, the people. So we really have to stand up for our values. We really have to align our policies with our values. I think all of us have a role to play in really changing our foreign policy and making it aligned with our values. And chief among them is supporting freedom, supporting democracy, supporting human rights. May not be easy, but it's the only solution, and especially in the long term, it's the only solution to provide real stability and real economic development or real prosperity. So that's my brief introductory remarks that I wanted to start with. Now we go to our two keynote speakers. We are really glad to have them. The first one is Damon Wilson. He's the president of NED, the National Endowment for Democracy. NED has been a supporter and has given us funds and grants for the last 20 years. So we are very grateful to NED and to the staff of NED. We have a whole contingency of NED staff here, friends from NED who are attending. So NED is of course the main organization that was funded by Congress in 1983 to support democracy in the world. It has projects and programs in almost all the countries of the world. But today, of course, we'll be speaking mainly about the MENA region, the Arab world, the North Africa region. The second speaker will be Professor Amani Jamal. She is the Dean of the International School, International Relations School of International Public Affairs at Princeton University. She's the Dean. She's also a close friend. We have known her and worked with her for almost 15 years. And I just learned 10 minutes ago that she just joined the board of NED.